Alright, today we're going to learn about unit rates. So the first thing we need to do is to define a rate and what a rate is. So a rate is a ratio of two quantities using different units. So what I mean by units is two different ways to, or two different units of measurement. So for instance, time and distance are two different things. So if I put those together, I would have two different units. So examples of that would be miles per hour, so 80 miles in 2 hours. 50 students in 2 classes. You'll see here it's different than a ratio because I'm not comparing students to students. I'm not comparing, I have 16 students in my first class and I have 26 students in my last class. These are two different things. And so then a unit rate compares a quantity to one. Unit rates always have a denominator of 1. So we're trying to figure out, if I have 50 students in 2 classes, how many would I have in 1? So then some examples of the unit rate would be 40 miles in 1 hour, 25 students in 1 class. And then how did I find that? Well, to find a unit rate, I have to write the rate as a fraction. And then I use division to write an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 1. So again, here you have an example. I have 90 miles in 2 hours. Well, if I want to get this to 1, I have to divide by 2. So any number divided by itself, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. Whatever I do to the bottom, or to the denominator, I must do to the numerator, or the top. So then 90 divided by 2 is 45. So if I can go 90 miles in 2 hours, I should be able to go 45 miles in 1 hour. So then I have some example problems down here. 120 miles in 3 hours. Well, I need to get the 3 to 1. So how do I do that? Any number divided by itself is 1. So 3 divided by 3 will give me 1 hour. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So then 120 miles divided by 3 will give me 40 miles. Same thing here. I can read 100 pages in 4 hours. Well, how many pages can I read in 1 hour? So again, the goal here is to get this denominator to 1. Oops, that's just 1 hour. I don't need the S on the end. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I need to do 100 divided by 4. And anytime you have 100, you can think of it as quarters. So if I have 1 quarter, if I'm dividing 100 by 4, how much is 1 quarter worth? 25 pages. So in 1 hour, I should be able to read 25 pages. And then I have my last 2 examples. Let's see if I can focus it. $250 for 5 pairs of shoes. That's a lot of shoes. So my goal here is to get my denominator to 1 pair. And I divided it by 5 because any number divided by itself is 1. And then whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 250 divided by 5 will be $50 for one pair. Those are pretty expensive shoes. And then 6 vacations every 3 years. So how many vacations can I take in 1 year? Any number divided by itself gives me 1. Whatever I do to the denominator, I need to do to the numerator. So 6 divided by 3 is 2 vacations every year. Okay, you do have some practice problems on the back side, so make sure you get those done.